There's really, really nothing worse than listening to a liar. And when you're listening to a liar who's on ESPN, it makes it really, really hard for people to take it seriously. You have people that are on ESPN that are constantly creating narratives and stories that do not exist. And there will be people out there that will sit here and tell you that the ESPN media is on the side of Caitlin Clark when the ESPN media is largely for women who have been nothing but negative to Caitlin Clark for the better part of a year. And those women include Monica McNutt, Chiney Ogwumike, Andrea Carter, and Carolyn Peck. They have been nonstop on the opposite side whenever it comes to Caitlin Clark. They have decided they're going to believe every single thing that comes from people and these players who bitch and complain and say that there's nasty things going on in Indiana when yet before games you got players signing autographs for people that are asking for autographs from the opposite team on in Indiana and there's no issues. And with this ridiculous investigation that is going on by the WNBA, which is basically validated and giving credibility to trolls and Twitter idiots and stuff like that, you have a situation where you've attacked a fan base because they're fans. And with this ridiculous investigation that's going to prove to bring nothing, there's already proof of nothing ever happening. There's videos of sound noises from the stadium arena. There's a lady yodeling or sounding like a dolphin. And she's done that apparently in many, many games. There's videos of this. And yet in the game, you can't hear very well. Bullshit. Bullshit, you can't hear very well. You sure as hell can hear if you're on the floor, noise coming to you. I can hear people 9 rows behind me when I'm at a Heat game yelling. So why the hell wouldn't you hear people yelling when you're on the basketball court? That's complete bogus. It's fabrication. It is false. It is fugazi. And you had Tyler Marsh tell you such, but yet you have Chiney Ogwumike, who is on ESPN on her little podcast called The Chiney Show. And here she comes. And I want to play the video for you, and you can listen to the most ridiculous shit you've ever heard in your life. Before we get there, welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Rudy's Rant, Her Game, Her Way Women's Basketball, where we talk facts over feelings. I'm your host, Rudy Rodriguez Showmont. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell, leave a comment. The comments and likes are what make this thing go. We're getting closer and closer to 10,000 subscribers. I'm only about 40 from 9,500 right now. So let's help me get there. I appreciate y'all continued support of the channel, man. Genuinely, I do. Remember, Sunday Night Heat is Sunday night, 8 p.m. with Ben Daniel from the Ben Daniel podcast. We are going to be bringing it live, bro. Can't wait to do this again. Don't think it's going to go 4 hours again, though, but we'll be up there for a bit. So don't miss it. And we will be broadcasting on every platform. So let's just jump right on into this thing here. Let's go present. And here we go. Let's bring it in. Let's bring this in. Add to the stage. This is Chiney Ogwumike on the Chiney Show.
Comes growing pains. I don't want to live in a WNBA where I believe all fans are bad, or most fans are bad, or certain fans of certain teams are bad. I can't live in a WNBA like that.
I'm going to stop her right there. Has she been to an NBA game before? NBA games are largely men who and a lot of men who get drunk. Have you seen the New York Knicks fans and their reactions to being in the Eastern Conference Finals, for which they're now down 2-0 to the Indiana Pacers, losing both games at home? And after they won against the Boston Celtics, they were in the street yelling "fuck Tyrese Halliburton" and insulting Tyrese Halliburton left and right. Fuck the Pacers. Fuck this. Fuck the f f f f f f f f f. Like that's how they behave inside the building. That's how they behave in the building. If you put those Knicks fans in the building of a WNBA game and they were with the same energy that they bring to an NBA game into a WNBA arena, these women would not survive. They would freak the hell out. They would lose their shit. They would be in tears because those fans are relentless. And so when she says, "I don't want to believe that all fans are bad," well, because the reality is that 99.9% of fans are not bad. And yes, there's going to be a few bad apples in every fan base. There will always be. And that includes every single team in the WNBA. Vegas, Phoenix, LA, Chicago, Dallas, Minnesota, you name it, Washington, Atlanta, Connecticut, and New York Liberty. They're all there, and the Golden State Valkyries. They are all there. There's a problem with all of them, some capacity. There's not, no one's perfect, but they have created a narrative that every one of these Indiana fans in Indiana are all racist. And here she comes with the bullshit.
Like that. But still, you have to understand that there's some language from maybe a few bad actors that were caught up in microphones or by the ears of players that were out of bounds, which caused the WNBA to make an investigation. Now, this goes back to last year because a lot of the rhetoric that the WNBA players were like, we were so used to being called crazy things. Like I've been called the N word. I've been called monkey. I've been called all these crazy things growing up in Texas. And my
Okay, wait. So you've been called these things in Texas, or you were called these things in a WNBA arena? Because initially it sounded like you were going to say that you were called all these things, and I presume it was in the WNBA arena, and now you're changing it to Texas. I'm sure you got called a lot of things in Texas, and it's not right, and it shouldn't happen. But I'm going to keep playing this because she's already lied. She's already lied because microphones didn't pick anything up. But let's continue.
parents taught me to have thick skin and understand that that is a small minority and that the majority will see you for who you are. And you keep, and the beat goes on. Like it makes you stronger and tougher, even though that's something that no one should ever have to deal with. But players were dealing with things that were so much worse: death threats.
Prove it. I'm still waiting for the proof. I'm still waiting for the proof of these death threats. You know what I've received? I've received physical threats from podcasts, from podcasters. Two already. I've received two of them already. I'm not responding to them. I'm ignoring it. I'm not calling mommy. I'm not calling the WNBA. I'm not filing a police report. But this is what's going on, and I'm not sitting here crying about it. It is what it is. They want to be stupid, be stupid. But what death threats have they received? How are they receiving them? In writing, verbally, on the phone? Please let me know because you guys keep saying this stuff and you're not providing any ounce of proof of it. You're not providing proof. If you have proof of it, you have the ability to track it. If you have the proof, you can track it. And if you can track it, guess what? With the technology we have in today's society, you can easily find the person, arrest that person, charge them with the crime, and throw their ass in jail. It's very, very simple. Instead, we get the same rhetoric from people like her who sit here and say they've gotten death threats. What else? Let's see.
Calls for people to not recover from serious traumatic life events. Players that have fought through so much.
Who cares? That's stupid. Like that happens in the NBA all the time. Who cares?
A lot of the rhetoric was problematic last year. So they challenged the commissioner, they challenged the WNBA to do something about it. Finally, a year later, they did. I don't know if people peep this, but this is important to note. Around the WNBA draft, they announced the WNBA task force and also the implementation of a new technology to monitor social media, monitor threats, and be able to create a safer place for the players to exist with an influx of fans that some of them might be coming in and creating threats in a way that we haven't seen in a long time.
Give me a break. Give me a break. She's lying. They created a task force with technology and all that stuff. Okay, have you been actually really searching? Because if you have all this technology, you'd be able to find real fast all the negative and nasty shit that comes from largely the Angel Reese community. The Angel Reese fan base is real good at calling people racist. The Angel Reese community is real good at calling it Caitlin Clark a whole bunch of names too. I mean, I've heard him. I've seen him. I've seen him. The Angel Reese is real good at community, is real good at threatening people who don't agree with them. Like I said, two times already, literally in less than a week. They're real good about that. They're real tough behind computer screens. But you're sitting here creating a task force for the Caitlin Clark fan base. because the Caitlin Clark fan base, it has to be the Caitlin Clark fan base. It can't possibly be just some random ass stupid trolls. It can't possibly be that. And look, are there dickheads? Like I said, are there bad apples and everything? Absolutely. The WNBA did not launch an investigation because of anything that was picked up by microphones. They didn't. I watched the game on TV. Millions watched it on 2.7 million, in fact, watched it on TV. And you have one person who starts up a fake rumor and then deletes the profile on Twitter because we all know it's fake, because it's real easy to make a rumor spread like wildfire when you know there's already drama in a situation. And there's people that want to believe that it's true. They just want to believe it. There's a group of people that want to believe it, and all they'll do is keep throwing gasoline on it, keep throwing more gasoline on it. Next thing you know, you have millions of acres being burnt down. You have millions of acres being burnt down, and now it's all over the place. And now you're going to convince people who didn't hear shit during the game while they were on the court, because the only place this could come from, there are no microphones on the upper deck, Chiney. There's no microphones picking up sound in the upper deck. The microphones are on the lower level. TV cameras are on the lower level. They're not, I mean, there's a couple here and there on the upper deck, but they're not for the purpose. Nope. Those cameras aren't being used for game footage. So any sound being picked up is in the lower level, and they picked nothing up during the game. The players didn't hear anything during the game. Tyler Marsh gets interviewed and says, "I found out when y'all found out," which is on Twitter. So you never heard a damn thing, while she's sitting here saying they heard it, may have heard it. So they didn't hear it. So they heard it or they didn't hear it, because they may have heard it implies and actually infers that maybe they didn't hear it. So then what are we having an investigation about? What are you investigating? The WNBA has not come out with a report yet. It's been a week. What does it take so long to go through the video footage and the audio footage? You can hear everything. Watch the game. You can watch the game. You got enough employees in the WNBA who could watch the game in 2 hours and like, you hear anything? No. You hear anything? No. Hear anything? No. Because we know there's nothing there. It's just made up shit to make excuses for getting their asses kicked in a basketball game. Because if they had won, no one would be talking about this. If the Charlotte had found a way to beat the Indiana Fever that day, nothing would have come up with this. This would never have been brought up. But because it was a thorough ass whooping, and because all the Angel Reese fans were crashing the fuck out, losing their minds, and now they're even on another level after the New York Liberty loss, for which Angel Reese has the worst performance in basically WNBA history from inside of 4 feet. Now it's a thing, but yet still we haven't heard anything yet. You don't need a fucking 3-month investigation to determine nothing was picked up on camera, nothing was picked up on audio. Players didn't hear it. The person who's supposedly subject of it, Angel Reese, never heard it. She said as much. She said just as much. Tyler Marsh never heard it. He said it flat out. Stop trying to play victim role. And when Chiney Ogwumike, who's on ESPN, runs with this shit, the things that she's saying, she's also learning from her sister. Her sister is the president of the WNBPA, or vice president. She's one of the two. She's up high on the board for the WNBPA. And I am sure as hell, I have no doubt that her sister is feeding her shit to help her with her job at ESPN. She's doing this shit right here. I don't know that she can get away with doing this on ESPN, though. What she's just made accusations of here, I don't think she can make those same statements on ESPN. So she does it on her podcast. If all you have is a podcast, and who gives a shit? No one cares who you are. Nobody gives a shit who you are if that's the case. But you're on ESPN. You are a national media figure, and you are continuing with rhetoric that is a flat out, bold-faced lie, a made-up fabrication, fugazi, bogus nonsense that Chicago Sky fans, and mostly not only a few, it's not a whole bunch of them that have created this thing. It's one person who decided, I'm going to write this bullshit ass tweet, and someone else is going to share it, and somebody else is going to share it, and somebody else is going to share it. Next thing you go, poof, now it's everywhere. And now people are like, whoa, did this actually happen? When they know they didn't hear it when they were watching the game. We hear everything on audio during the game. The broadcasting crew doesn't hear it. People on front rows don't hear it. No one says a word. Security doesn't hear it. Security doesn't hear it. Media doesn't hear it. Staff doesn't hear it. Police don't hear it. Players, coaches, fans. Nobody hears this shit except for some person who was 13 to 15 hours across the world who posted it first, from what I saw, the next day because they were playing the next day over there, and they're the ones that somehow heard this shit. Again, that's what I saw as a post. It was like the next day. It's complete nonsense. And Chiney Ogwumike needs to have better fucking understanding of what her position is. She may hate Caitlin Clark herself. She may have okay. She may dislike Caitlin Clark herself. She may dislike the Indiana Fever fan base for whatever reason she chooses to dislike it. For whatever reason, she is throwing out accusations without proof. I am still waiting to this day, for proof of these death threats. We have not seen them. We've never seen any printed letters, emails, anything that has been shown to say that there have been death threats against certain players. Waiting for it. When are you going to show me, man? When are you going to show me this proof? If you show me proof, I'll stand down on what I'm saying here. But it's been a year. It's been a year. Are you telling me that in a league like this, with the NBA behind it, paying for half of its bills, and Kathy Engelbert does not get on a podium for a press conference, says we have a stack of emails and letters that have been sent to players at the facility, at their respective facilities, threatening to off them. If that happened, it would be insane. The outcry would, like, they don't understand that if it happened and you could provide proof of it, there's not a person who's normal who would sit here and say, you need to deal with that. No, oh, don't worry about it. No, you got to take that shit seriously. There's two people that have been arrested in the past year for stalking Paige Beckers and Caitlin Clark. There's proof. These people have been arrested. They went to jail. I think one guy is on probation. He didn't get jail time, but he got arrested, and he cried. And the other one for Caitlin Clark, I think he might be in jail. But they were both arrested. This is not a game. So when you make these outlandish accusations and you have no proof still to this day, we've not seen a damn thing. I'm sorry. I just don't believe you. And a task force about monitoring social media? Are you really monitoring it? Are you really monitoring it, Chiney? Are you really monitoring it? Because I'm telling you right now, the amount of shit that I've seen on Twitter, the YouTube videos that are horrific. Look, most Caitlin Clark podcasts poke fun. I'm not desecrating. We're not saying stuff that's so out of bounds. We're not saying stuff that's out of bounds. If we comment on her dress attire at a basketball game, she's a basketball player. Yeah, we're going to comment the same way I commented about Sophie Cunningham's outfit. Like the same way when Reese came in the first game, I said she's dressed perfectly fine. But Sophie Cunningham was not dressed perfectly fine. And I sure as shit commented about it. Like, what are we talking about? There is a lack of reality and just a tone deaf nature to this league, to where they are offensive as hell when it comes to how they treat fans. These women want their cake. They want their cake and they want to eat it too. God forbid you boo them. God forbid you cuss them. Yes, I can cuss a player on the court if I'm at a game. I can go, F you, Angel Reese, if I feel like it. Now, how many of those I get away with in an arena? Probably not a whole bunch. But if I do it a few times, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I'm not one that does stuff like that to players. I don't find it necessary. I think it makes you look stupid. Especially when most of them don't hear you, because if you're too far up, I'm not too far. I'm only in row 9. So if I really wanted to make them hear me, they could hear me. But, you can do that. Or if I want to say the Chicago Sky sucks dick, I can say that 1,001 times. I'm not going to get in trouble for saying that shit. I'm not going to have a problem for saying that. I'm not saying anything that's crazy out of bounds. I'm not talking about no one's mama. I'm not sitting here talking about XYZ. I'm not calling you a this or a that. I'm telling you that you suck. That's boo. That's heckling. Get used to it. Toughen the fuck up. You wanted the money. You want the money. With the money comes some level of responsibility that when you don't perform, you're gonna get cracked on. You're gonna get roasted. Imagine these women for one day living in LeBron James's shoes. The shit he's had to listen to, the shit he's had to be hit with. And I think he's fucking sensitive too. But he ain't sensitive like these women are. These women are sensitive to the point where they don't want anyone to ask them even so much as a question. God forbid you ask a question. Here comes the WNBPA sitting here wanting to get a reporter who's been around for 40 years kicked out of the WNBA. What the fuck is going on? But you have ESPN here, Chiney Ogwumike, who's on ESPN and sitting here with this bullshit rhetoric. A lot of it's been spoon fed to her by her sister, but it's already been freaking debunked by video, by Tyler Marsh, and even by Angel Reese. Like, get out of here, dude. And she's completely irresponsible in her position for her to make statements like this and sit here and say they may have heard. Nobody heard. The investigation is bogus. And when are we going to hear a resolution and a closure to it? We're not. They're going to sweep it under the rug because they don't want to come out later on and say, we found nothing because there was nothing. And that's reality. And your little email task force, your little Twitter task force, your social media task force, how about they start working on dealing with the people who are crashing out on Caitlin Clark fans, telling Caitlin Clark fans left to go fuck themselves on every fucking video, threatening them on fucking videos, threatening people on videos. Come on, man. Let's see what the WNBA does about that. They won't. They'll have that one person on freaking Twitter who says Indiana was like a KKK rally. Get out of here, bro. Give me a break. But y'all let me know y'all thoughts in the comments. I tell you right now, ESPN should have a conversation with Chiney Ogwumike because I don't care if this is her podcast. She still works for ESPN. And when she says certain things like this, yeah, man, not a good look in my opinion. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on this. This is Rudy's Rant, Her Game, Her Way Women's Basketball. Come on now.